Ladies and gentlemen, today we are going to discuss GM's new mid-engine supercar beast, the 2022 C8 Z06, and how it's finally uncovered. Welcome back to Brink of Speed, everyone. I'm super excited to talk about this brand new footage of the 2022 Z06 Corvette. And I want to thank my friend Keith over at Corvette Blogger for allowing me to use these pictures in my video here. You can actually click on the link to his website, corvetteblogger.com, down in the description below. And you'd love the content that he has on his website. But ladies and gentlemen, this is truly an exciting day. It's truly a pleasure to get to talk about this car. A lot of you have been asking me on the channel whether I plan to get this new Z06 or not. My answer to each and every one of you is always yes. I definitely am going to get this car. I'm hoping to definitely get it as soon as it comes out, just like I was able to do with the C8 Stingray. And so, as you can imagine, the excitement inside of me is just booming. After seeing this picture, I said in one of my latest videos that I couldn't wait until all of the padding started coming off of the C8 Z06 so that we could actually see some shapes. And that's exactly what we have here today. And I hope that you are as excited as I am that we're finally getting to see the Z06 uncovered. So, ladies and gentlemen, the first thing that I want to point out is that the rear stance of the car, and really the overall stance, but first of all, the rear stance of the car looks much more aggressive than that of the C8 Stingray. I think this is for a couple of reasons that I'll discuss further later on in the video, but the first thing that I want to ask you is, do you agree with me that this looks quite a bit more aggressive? Just the overall look of the car to me looks that much more aggressive than the C8 Stingray. And I really like what I'm seeing here. Now, I'm sure some of you are thinking that the rear wing, the new wing that we're seeing on this mule, is part of the reason why it looks more aggressive, and I couldn't agree more. This rear wing is similar to one that we've seen in the past, but to me it looks much better than any of the wings. Even though we can't see the whole thing, I still think it looks much better than anything we've seen in the past. And it also brings me to my next point, which is I really truly believe that this rear wing looks like it could be active. And this is something that I've discussed in my videos in the past. I definitely think that GM would be doing us a disservice not to give us active aero on these cars, especially the Z06 being a track beast that it's going to be. I believe 100% that that wing could and should be an active aero rear wing. Also, right below that, we see the taillights look very identical to the Stingray taillights, but right below them we have new vents. So if you take a look at a typical Stingray, the vent is more squarish and these are rectangle. And I do like the way that they look. Now, we can't see them perfectly here, but it does add something to the rear end of this car. It brings the rear fascia up further and makes me believe that they have a much more massive rear diffuser back there than they do on the C8 Stingray. Now, moving on to the next favorite part of this car, which are the wheels. And ladies and gentlemen, I absolutely love the way these wheels look. To me, they actually look like they are really supercar designed, which doesn't surprise me because the C7 Z06, in my opinion, had some of the greatest wheels I've ever seen on a Corvette. I absolutely loved my Z06 wheels. And so it doesn't surprise me that these look as fantastic as they do. Now, The second thing that I notice about these wheels, and you guys let me know in the comments below if you think I'm right about this, but these don't look offset as far as the sizes. These actually, to me, look like they are either 20s, both in front and the rear, or 21s. The rear do not look larger to me than the front. And I kind of think that might be something they might have gone to, because the other thing that I noticed is that the car looks to be quite a bit lower than the C8 Stingray. And so I think that that is definitely a good reason to stay with similar sizes and wheels. But again, let me know in the comments below what you think. Now, moving on to right up here in the front, you will see what are called dive planes, and these are fantastic. If you look here on the Viper ACR, it has huge front dive planes, and we all know that the Viper produces enormous amounts of downforce, and it's always been a shame to me that the Z06 doesn't produce more downforce than it does. So this right here is another sign that GM is making this their track-focused Corvette. And with these front dive planes, not only do they look fantastic and give the car a much more aggressive look, but they also function very well to give you a lot more downforce on the front end of the car. The other thing that I noticed is you can't really tell what the side air scoop or vent, whatever you want to call it, is going to look like out of these pictures. However, it does look like it's going to have a completely different look from the C8 Stingray. And from these pictures, to me, it looks like the body has definitely been widened. And I think that's why we're seeing an overall more aggressive stance from this picture than we have from any other C8 Z06 mules in the past. The other aero piece that's very difficult to tell what's going on with is the side skirt. Now, to me, they look like they are very similar to the C8 Stingray, but that would be very hard for me to believe that they would stick with the same exact side skirt as a Stingray. It seems like they would go with a stage 2 or stage 3 side skirt, but you never know, because the C7 Z06 can come with 0 aero on it anyway. So hopefully they don't do that with the C8 Z06. I hope that even the base model comes with quite a bit of aero, because again, this is GM's, in my opinion, GM's track-focused beast, and I think it's going to be an absolute phenomenal car. Now, there's one thing left to talk about, and that is the engine. Lately, a lot of people have been going back and forth on this engine. I've actually received information from some people that say that it is going to be a twin turbo, and it's going to be the Grand Sport that is going to be the naturally aspirated engine. Well, let me just say, ladies and gentlemen, I'm not sure what your opinion is on the engine, but I'm really hoping that I'm correct about it being a naturally aspirated, flat plane crank, dual overhead cam, 8-cylinder engine, because to me, that screams supercar. As you know, Ferrari is famous for these engines. The 458 that I drove recently has that exact same type of engine in it. It is a naturally aspirated flat plane crank, 8-cylinder engine, and it has a 9,000 RPM redline. And as you could hear, it screams, and that's exactly what I want. I know many of you want the same thing. I know the technology that GM and people like Ferrari have will stop that engine from being a problem with an everyday driver, because the 458 is one of the most reliable Ferraris that they've ever built, and it has that type of engine. So again, let me know in the comments down below what you think about my idea of the perfect engine for this car and what the magazines are saying pretty much that this car is going to have. But ladies and gentlemen, that's really going to do it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you learned a lot about the brand new C8 Z06. This is, in my opinion, going to be a 2022 delivery date. I think we might see this car revealed sometime in 2021, whether it be late summer, early fall. Some people are even speculating that it could be early spring, but I don't think it'll be until at least September or October. And then we'll get the reveal, and then we'll probably have cars pumping out by March or April of 2022. So again, let me know in the comments what you guys think. I hope you enjoyed the video. If so, give me a big thumbs up. If you have not joined this wonderful Brink of Speed community, please consider doing so by smashing that red subscribe and bell notification so that you're notified when my new content comes out. I hope each and every one of you has a wonderful rest of your day, and I will see you out on the road.